On May 17, 2023, Brooke contacted us to see what we could do to help a mini foxy that had been abandoned and roaming in a very busy new residential development in Werrington since December 2022. We asked if she was being fed regularly and found out yes, she was being fed by residents who were throwing food over their fences. This little lady was also being fed by some of the construction workers. This helped a lot in keeping her in the area. We also found out she had had 2 pups with her earlier on. These pups were captured and taken into care, but Mum was unable to be caught at the time. In early May, a cat trap was set up by locals in hopes of catching her, with no success as the trap was too small. This is where Millie's comes into the story. After the first contact by Brooke, it was quickly decided that we would do everything we could to help this little dog. The next day we made contact with one of the site engineers, Harry, to get permission to visit the site with one of our traps. On Saturday, May 20th, we made the 1-hour drive to Werrington and set up our largest box-style trap, 50 centimeters by 53 centimeters by 150 centimeters. On our arrival, we spotted her right away. She wasn't hard to spot due to her barking. We introduced ourselves to the site manager, Scott, and discussed her predicament and our strategy to secure her. The workers had gone home for the day and we were given permission to remain on site and see if we could catch her. We set up our trap, under her watchful eye, and waited. She would come to within 20 meters of us or follow us wherever we went, but not to the trap. After a couple of hours, we had to pack up the trap as we had nobody to monitor it overnight. We then arranged to meet Brooke the next day.
So we can get her this close to the car. No, she ain't going near that bloody trap. Trap is up there, somewhere, no idea, can't see. Cause I don't have the glasses on.
On Sunday, we had the trap, our 4G trail camera and a plan. We hoped we would get this girl overnight. With the first pictures coming through, we realized she feared the trap. We then set about trying to condition her to its presence. With Brooke going twice a day, before and after her work, a plan was formed on how to get this girl over her fear of the trap. We started with having the trap closed and food placed close to it. Then the trap was left open, but not set, and the food placed just inside the door. This went on for a few days during the week. Despite her getting more comfortable with the trap, we realized it would take a long time to get her to go in. We needed a new plan. And that was the Missy Trap.
Needed a name for this girl. Consulting with Brooke and Deb, the wonderful lady throwing food over the fence, she was given the title of Queenie, reflecting her ruling over the construction site. Saturday, May 27th was Missy Trap Day. We once again made the 1-hour journey to Werrington and set up the Missy Trap, with Queenie watching our every move as the foreman, making sure we did it right. Unfortunately, we had technical issues with the wiring, which meant it could not be set that day. We left the trap open and watched Queenie on our live feed camera going in and out eating the food. We then knew she had no fear of the Missy Trap and we would be able to get her. We returned the next day after working on the wiring overnight, only to find there were still issues preventing us from setting the trap. We called a lifeline in Lexi, whose father is a truck mechanic, and within an hour they were on site to help work out the wiring issue. At 11:30 a.m. the wiring issue was sorted, the trap was set, and we waited outside the construction site as we knew Queenie was nearby. It did not take long for Queenie to appear near the trap following the scent of food and liquid smoke. With a trail of food leading past the sensor that triggers the door, we watched and held our breath as she edged her way closer to the trap. At 11:48 a.m. we cheered as the door closed and Queenie was secured. We approached quietly and sat with our backs towards the Missy in a submissive position to quieten her down. After just a few minutes, to our delight, she settled down and leaned into our backs accepting pats from us all. Queenie was taken to Nepean Animal Hospital for assessment and found to have a skin infection. She stayed a few days for treatment before being taken by rangers to Hawkesbury Animal Facility. After her holding period, she was released to the care of Monica's doggy rescue. She will be looked after by a foster carer until she is ready for adoption.